Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we will be open for business.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Utah. Give me 2.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
Now fry like bacon, you little freshman piggies. Fry! Fry!
Playing football in West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime. But I don't want your life.
Let's get into it. Case's movie review with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Interesting that Pulp Fiction audio is in that intro because I think, like most people, they saw Pulp Fiction first. I did. And then went back and saw Reservoir Dogs. It was Quentin Tarantino's first movie, Reservoir Dogs, released October 8th, 1992. And the budget was $1.2 million. And the box office was only $2.9 million. Very small film, at least an initial release. And then, of course, it blew up in the whole era of when you can watch a movie at home. So the Rotten Tomatoes gives the film a 90%.
That's very good for Rotten Tomatoes.
90%, very good. Approval rating based on 81 reviews. Average is 8.9 out of 10. In 2024, last year, Reservoir Dogs was ranked second on the list of the Sundance Film Festival's top 10 films of all time, based on a survey conducted with 500 filmmakers and critics in honor of its 40th anniversary. Just a reminder, by the way, next week, Case does Clueless in honor of that film's 30th anniversary. So Clueless next week.
Similar movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a similar experience.
A cop loses his ear in that movie, too.
I've had so many people hit me up asking to do Clueless, and it worked out where the 30th anniversary is next week. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But, Brian, let's start with the Reservoir Dogs trailer, if you don't mind.
This is what it sounded like when they were advertising Reservoir Dogs back in 92.
Here are your names. Mr. White, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Pink.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Who cares what your name is?
Yeah, that's easy for you to say. You're Mr. White. You have a cool-sounding name.
What happens if the manager won't give you the diamonds?
Cut off one of his fingers. The little one.
Harvey Keitel, Michael Madsen, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi, Lawrence Tierney, and Tim Roth. They're the Reservoir Dogs.
Hey, Joe, want me to shoot this guy?
Oh, God, it's just so good. Just that, the trailer alone gives you so much. Now that you've seen the movie, of course. I think if you just saw the trailer, go, what the hell's going on with these guys? But Case, you saw this movie in honor of Michael Madsen tragically passing away at the age of 67 last week. And as we learned also, he was supposed to be in Pulp Fiction. He was supposed to be John Travolta's character, Vincent Vega. He turned it down to do Wyatt Earp because he'd already signed a contract to do Wyatt Earp at that time. And they were going to do a Vega movie with both of them. But then Quentin Tarantino at one point just said, you know what, we missed the window because both actors after those movies, John Travolta, that reignited his career, Pulp Fiction. He started doing tons of movies, and same with all the guys after that from Pulp Fiction. It was too late to do it. But your review of Reservoir Dogs, I can't imagine seeing it for the first time.
Well, that's the point you always make, is a lot of time you'll say, oh, I'm so jealous you got to see this for the first time. And, that for me is, maybe I don't like the movie and then you get mad at me. But watching Reservoir Dogs for the first time, I'm sure you're jealous that I got to experience it completely unspoiled. I knew nothing about this movie. I'm so mad at myself that I had been on this planet for 26 years and I had just now seen Reservoir Dogs as of 24 hours ago. A completely mind-bending experience. Again, I knew nothing about this movie other than that guys were wearing suits. And so everything that happens in this movie, from the out-of-order storytelling and trying to put together the pieces as the movie is going along, to all of Steve Buscemi's monologue, to the turn that Mr. Orange makes halfway through the movie that got me to jump up off of my couch. I wasn't expecting that. To the three-way shootout at the end. All of this completely blew my mind. I went in completely unspoiled. Brian asked me during the song a second ago, he goes, well, you knew about the ear scene, right? I go, no, I didn't know about the ear scene. It was shocking to me when I saw it for the first time. And it just, it reminded me a little bit. I'm going to be the 10 billionth person on the planet to praise Quentin Tarantino. I get it. But watching this movie is like listening to The Clash, where you just go, I can't believe they got away with it. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. This is the coolest thing I've ever heard. And it's entirely unique, and it's uncomfortable, and it's provocative, and it's violent. And it's incredible. I mean, I love Pulp Fiction last year, and I still do think Pulp Fiction was the better movie, but I'm so mad at myself that it took me this long to experience Reservoir Dogs and the violence that it entailed. absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Vince from Elmwood Park checked in and just said you got to play Stuck in the Middle a little bit of that. What are you talking about this?
Case, were you wondering why that song started while you were talking?
Well, luckily I've seen the movie now. I at least understood it to some degree.
Whenever you hear this song going forward, everybody that sees Reservoir Dogs, you can't hear this song without thinking of the cop. You can't, the scene with Michael Madsen where he's dancing along with a knife in his hand. And it changed. That's what Quentin Tarantino was, a genius of, obviously, is putting songs that are associated with happy things and putting incredibly violent scenes with them.
It's just a remarkable movie because they throw you in from the jump. I mean, the first scene is heavyweight actors and Quentin Tarantino discussing the Madonna song like a version of what that means. And that blew my mind because I had no context for, I mean, I've heard the song, but I had no context for why they were talking about that in the movie. And then to be able to cut to Mr. Orange bleeding out in the backseat of a car, and then the story starts to jump around, and you never see the heist. The most action you really get is Steve Buscemi running away from the heist and then shooting the cops behind the car. It is all mind-blowing to me, and it reminded me a little bit of when I watched The Departed. I mentioned during that review that in the scene where Leo beats up the guys in the convenience store and kills them, from that point on, it's like a landslide. Everything is downhill and happening so fast, and it feels like anything could happen. In this movie, from the very jump, there's no way to predict what's next. You don't know where you're at in the day. You don't know where you're at in time, in history. You don't know where you're at in the story. It is all just assaulting you scene after scene after scene. And I gotta say, and I continue to come back to this point, in case you weren't aware, movies, they're pretty good.
Well, not all of them.
But this one is pretty good.
This one's pretty good. And, I'm surprised in my brain when we talk about, you've now seen Point Break, you've seen The Town, and you've seen Heat.
Yeah.
The trilogy.
I keep watching Heat. I just can't turn it off.
The trilogy of amazing bank robber movies. And even though this is a robbery movie, it's so weird and just different that I didn't consider it, which is, of course, what it is exactly, a robber. They're trying to rob the jewelry store robbery. And I didn't include it with the bank robberies, which it should be. It should be that should be the Mount Rushmore right there.
It should be, but the reason you don't do that is they never show the heist. They did not have enough money to film the heist for this movie. They also didn't have enough money. If you remember the scene where they rob the woman in the car and throw her out of the car, then drive away, they didn't have enough money in their production budget to get police to stop traffic. So what they had to do...
Wait a minute, what?
They had to film that scene during a green light so that they could drive away. If they would have filmed it during a red light, they just would have gotten into a T-bone accident.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So obviously the woman in the car that gets thrown out of the car is an actress. She knew what she was getting into, but they had to do it during a real LA traffic stop, and they had to time it to where she could get thrown out of the car during a green light so that they could drive away, because this movie was done on such a small budget. They don't have enough money to show the heist, which it's a little bit like Jaws, where it actually makes it more interesting.
If they showed the heist, it wouldn't have been as good.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%.
They're so happy you feel that way because they don't have money for the heist.
That's right.
That's like yes, we knew that once they blew their entire budget.
At least, Steven, I've never heard Quentin Tarantino say that, but you hear Steven Spielberg say, thank God the shark didn't work because Jaws was better without seeing the shark so much.
Exactly.
Also, someone brought in there, another check-in from Elmwood Park, that what about the Ocean 11 movies? I didn't think about for robbery, heist movies.
So many good ones.
But only the first one, of course. The rest of the Ocean 11 movies are 12,
What's
13.
the one where they just do women?
Ocean's 8. Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenzie, you're not a fan?
I don't like sympathy or pity movies. So it's like they do this huge franchise like, okay, let's pretend the women can do it. I found it very condescending.
I'm glad you said that instead of me.
It felt condescending. It felt like we should make a movie with the women because they'll eat that up. And it was so much like later in the series, it felt like they were like, obviously this would never happen, but let's just take their money and laugh about it. Like, it was just condescending.
None of them are worth it after Ocean's 11, which was a remake, by the way. The first one had Frank Sinatra and all those legends. But nothing beats the Clooney, Brad Pitt, Ocean's 11, the first movie.
I think those ladies did a great job. I haven't seen the movie, but I'm glad they got a shot.
So you're trying to just go along like the Kenzie, the propaganda machine.
Sorry.
It just felt very pandery. Like, if you thought that, like, you should have made the first movie like that, then.
I should totally just disagree with Kenzie just for fun, but I agree with her 1,000%, you know?
I thought those ladies
How
did a good
dare
job.
you, Kenzie? How dare you?
Obviously, we watched this movie because Michael Madsen passed away. Michael Madsen was an actor where I knew his name, but I wasn't familiar with any of his work. And even watching this movie, I knew Steve Buscemi, and I knew Tarantino was in the film. But it took me a second to just put together who Michael Madsen was. Great hairline, super handsome guy in this movie.
When he's younger, he was handsome as hell.
Oh my God, I wish I looked like that. He's incredible in this movie because everything that he does is rooted in evil. It's almost like what we talked about yesterday. If you're going to be evil, be the most evil you can be.
Right.
Winning.
He takes that to heart. And his performance, obviously, in the ear scene, which is even more terrifying because they cut away from the ear as he's cutting it off, which it leaves you going like, oh my God, what is he doing?
Hearing the screams, I was like, oh my God, what is he doing?
But then when he gets into the argument with his own crew, and we've got this clip here, when they're complaining that Michael Madsen shot up the jewelry store, ruined the heist, and then his defense as for why he was shooting to me was just so funny.
This is what he was doing. Bam! 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 Yeah, bam, 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 bam. I told them not to touch the alarm. They did. If they hadn't have done what I told them not to do, they'd still be alive. My hero. Thanks. That's your excuse for going on a kill crazy rampage. I don't like alarms, Mr. White.
I don't like alarms.
God, is he cool.
Oh, my God. He's so cool. It is a fun movie. I feel like we're getting away from this a little bit just in terms of the way that we consume things. I personally enjoy a movie where bad people are in it and bad people are portrayed as bad. These are criminals. These are killers. Steve Buscemi is a wild racist in this movie, and it's all presented as these are bad guys. Now, maybe your worst instinct, you can go, oh, these guys are so cool. We just said Michael Madsen's cool. At the end of the day,
Brian looks confused right now.
No.
At the end of the day, he's a murderer. But we live in this world where we can accept that these are bad guys living their bad life and doing these things, and we get sucked into this universe. I thought the whole thing was just so cool. I am so mad at myself that I had not seen this movie previously.
Well, let's get to the rating on this one. Are you going to do it in cops' ears? You have to.
I think I'll just do it in ears.
Okay,
I don't want cops' ears pinned on me.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Right.
So Reservoir Dogs, the first Quentin Tarantino movie. Okay, saw it for the first time yesterday. What are you giving it?
Just to contextualize, I rate these out of 10. Pulp Fiction last year, I gave a 10 out of 10 to. I think that's a perfect movie. Wouldn't have changed a thing, even if I thought Bruce Willis's girlfriend wasn't the greatest actress in the world in that movie, but overall just, a flawless movie. I've got to go 8 ears out of 10 on Reservoir Dogs. By definition, a great movie, a capital G great movie. If for some reason you're hearing this and you haven't seen it, change that tonight. Get lost in this universe like I did. I can't recommend this movie enough.
Is it on Netflix or something? Probably one of those.
I rented it.
Oh, what'd you do off what? YouTube TV?
Yeah, $3.99. I can spring it.
Oh wow,
I've had a good year.
Good year for you, huh?
Yeah, call me a Rockefeller.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning, and Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.